Welcome to Soul Healing and welcome to Sharona Stillerman. It is with great pleasure that we are continuing this series. And last session was on love, supreme love, and how the supreme love can color the soul. And with the colors of supreme divine love, you can shine your true colors in a new way. It feels like it's a new life without anger or less frustration, less irritation. It feels like heaven on earth. So today our focus is on how to make this stage of being less subject of old habits, being able to break away from that old habits, how to make this stage stable. And people, those who are attempting to be free from anger, they are saying it's possible. It is possible to be without anger. Now, the second step is how to maintain that.
Good morning, Johanna. Good morning to everyone. Om Shanti. Congratulations. Johanna was sharing with me how so many of you were feeling progress, feeling that this is something that can be done, and it's something that has to be done. My relationships, my own physical health, the way I'm able to get up in the morning and take up my responsibilities, it is so unbelievably connected to the feelings I bring to everything. And scratch a feeling deeply enough, and you will see that at its origin is a thought. So if I can take charge of what I think, then I'm going to be taking charge of my feelings. And with that, my attitude and the way I respond to everything again comes under my control. Right? So it's not a small thing to take the feeling of anger and move it out, because I have a larger selection of thoughts, and so I can change the way I think about something. Therein lies all my power, right? It is not what somebody has said to me which makes me angry. It's not something that's happening which makes me angry. All of that framework, all of that attitude is what keeps me a slave to old feelings like anger. But it's rather how I'm thinking about what they've said, thinking about what's going on. And that is my key to freedom, because there I have choice. I don't have any choice about what people are going to say to me or what's going on. I do have a choice about how I'm going to think about it. So these are the things you know, but this is the foundation. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves of this again and again. So there are two things I'm thinking of when I see how I've been able to stabilize more and more in other feelings besides anger, which would be more like just peacefulness, the peacefulness that comes from accepting what's going on. Again, this is a practice. But if I look at my own journey, I see on the very practical level some drills I do, but then also on a more subtle and spiritual practice, spiritual level, I would say. So practically speaking, it's a lot of the exercise I've shared in the past, but go into it with all your heart. Make sure your brain is getting a steady diet of positive thoughts. Every day, make sure you start your day with some reading from, whatever path you're on, or from Brahma Kumari's Raja Yoga, if you started the course, some 10 minutes of reading of anything which is positive and elevated. Start your day with that. And then throughout the day, remind yourself of it. Think about it. See how it applies to your life. But then again, on the dead practical level, be sure every hour, as a first step, every hour you're feeding your brain and then even the soul appreciation thoughts, thoughts of gratitude. Literally, this is a different frequency. It's a different electric charge, and the brain is all about electric charges. So every hour, at least 10 thoughts, even of the most mundane sort, like, oh, I have such a comfortable chair I'm sitting in. I'm so glad to have finally found a good chair. Whatever. Or, oh, look at that nice plant. It's so beautiful. Whatever. Every hour, 10 thoughts, which is what I have shared in the past. Deepening that. Look around you, especially the people who challenge you, challenge your peace or your ability to accept. Identify at least one quality that they have. They must have one quality at least. Identify it and put them in front of you mentally, appreciating that quality. And even further, if you can, identify their service. What's their special contribution? I call it service, but what's their special contribution? At the least to your life, and at the most to the world, and in between to others. So for example, maybe it's someone who is not involved in your church activities, contributing in one way or another to the well-being of others. So on that end, maybe you're not involved in any volunteer service yourself, so you don't know what other people are involved in. So that side of the spectrum, how and what is their contribution to the world? Okay, maybe you don't know for that. But way on the other side, for sure, they are contributing something to your life. What is it? The chance to see that you still have anger, possibly, but then also it is the chance, they're contributing to you, the chance to practice and rehearse your peace, your acceptance, etc. So appreciate that. See their contribution. And in the middle, in the office, in the family, in the neighborhood, surely you can identify something that they contribute to the well-being of others, your immediate others, if not the whole world. Maybe you've noticed how determined they are, or how dedicated they are, or how cooperative they are, or any particular skill or talent. They really know how to clean a hall or a room, or they know how to dress appropriately to every situation. Something, but keep feeding the brain that higher energy of positivity. Higher is appreciation, higher is gratitude, and then even, I should say, that highest thought, that elevated thought, which starts with looking at yourself and having a positive thought about yourself, an appreciation for yourself. What is your contribution? Gratitude for everything coming to you, including this course. And then that highest, most elevated thought that it does not matter whatever and to however great the degree I see anger in me now, non-acceptance, stress and peacelessness. Here is your highest, most elevated thought to give your brain and your soul. I'm not that. I'm not this anger or ego or whatever. I am not this body. I'm not Sharona. I am a soul, and my original religion, my original quality is peace. This is a very powerfully positive, appreciative, grateful, elevated thought. So this is on a practical level. How often during the day can I remind myself of who I really am? Because it's the truth. There's a lot of power in it. But according to our philosophy, it's not true because I say it or Johanna says it. You have to prove it to yourself. You have to think about these things, and it's only to the extent that you believe it that it starts working for you. So ask your questions, do your readings, experiment and experience this remembrance, this meditation we do here, in which we can literally touch those frequencies of myself as a peaceful being. So all of that's very practical. And I would just share one more thing. This is the work to do. Keep focusing yourself on the positive and the true. Because I don't know if I've ever shared this before, Johanna, you can tell me, but do you know how they remove alloy from gold? Did I ever share this?
No.
Do you know? Do you know how alloy is removed from gold?
On high temperature?
Very high temperatures, that's right. And sometimes the situations we're in feel like the heat is up. But you know, this is the process. They do not extract the alloy. Alloy is extracted from silver, but not from gold. Get this. they extract the gold from the alloy. Do you get this? In other words, they don't touch the alloy. They work with the gold. They catch hold of the gold and work with the gold. Move it. They don't touch the alloy and they don't move it. So in the same way, anger is an alloy of I, the pure, divine child of the Supreme. It's an alloy, it's an additive. It's an extra. I added it. So don't touch it. It's enough to identify it. And you've done this work of understanding just what you need to understand about where it comes from, what triggers it. You've identified it. Now, more and more of your attention has to go to the gold that you are, the greatly, greatly invaluable human being who's here with a task.
Very clear. And as you were speaking, I could relate to seeing the specialities of others and really connecting to what is their contribution and realizing the very small resistance that exists sometimes. And that would be the source of sorrow, and sorrow will lead to anger when you have the habit of looking at what is negative. But all habits can be removed, can be merged. They, in the same way we learned the habit of anger, we can unlearn it. And that was one of the experiences recently with removing anger, that there are moments when you don't know how to get angry anymore. You really are facing a situation where you realize a thought may come, but there is no reaction, no emotion, no feeling. The habit is not there anymore. Let us reflect for a few moments, if you can comment a little bit more on the stage of zero anger. How does it feel? And in your experience, when you are in that stage, zero anger, zero knowledge of how to get angry, what are the benefits of being in that stage as long as we can?
You know, Johanna, I have come to see that the reason anger can continue is because there would still be some neediness in the soul. Some desire is not being met. I'm not being respected enough. I'm not being trusted. I'm not being given what I think I should be getting on a subtle emotional level or physical. As much as I continue to fill that emptiness, call it emptiness, call it, I'm saying neediness and desires are a kind of emptiness in the soul. Call it emptiness or call it darkness, where the light has not reached or the light has dimmed and been extinguished. Light means the things of peace, the energy, a higher energy, basically, love, peace, acceptance. So anger means there's some space in me which light has not reached or light has gone dimmed. It's all about how much I can keep myself plugged in. If I unplug myself from these great truths and then elevated thoughts, I am peaceful, for example, and I am connected to an ocean of peace, the Supreme Soul. As long as I keep myself plugged in, not just to that thought, but the feeling that that produces. This is meditation, right? That much light is returned to the soul, more and more light and more permanently. And so it becomes more and more my nature. I'm being restored to the being of light that I was made as. We were made in his image. He's pure light. He, she, pure light. So this is what it feels like. It feels like it feels like you know what works, you know what helps, you're very confident about it. You've tried it on yourself, you've brought in light to your own anger, and so why wouldn't that be what you use in front of an angry person or a difficult situation? Just keep yourself plugged in and just keep enjoying the wonder of how simple it is, actually. We've just, this is our only mistake, taking from the wrong place. We started looking this way to try and fill that emptiness, things, people, relationships. But so we tried taking from there, right? But we have to train ourselves to take from above, that one, and from deep within. Because this is a fake outlet, it's a fake socket. Or at the least, we are 220 volts, and that's only going to give me 110. And even then, not reliably. It's not a steady source. So let me stay plugged in and enjoy the fact that, wow, now I can operate. Now I can move in my life and my responsibilities and relationships charged, full.
Absolutely agree. And maybe before conclusions, mentioning just the attitude and the vision that we discovered as being something new and of a great frequency, and that is a feeling of mercy. And if we finish with this vision, a merciful vision, what does mercy bring into our awareness? It feels unique even compared to love and peace, and it does help tremendously with staying above, staying a distance from anger. You forget the anger when you are in that very beautiful and very gentle frequency of mercy. Would you like to share on that for a few minutes?
Mercy comes automatically when you remember a larger picture, because mercy immediately puts you in the other person's shoes. And your own selfishness, what you're all about and what your needs are, which are not getting met, fades in the distance a bit, and we extend something. We become givers instead of takers, and that feels very good. Mercy is a practical expression of love. It's a practical expression. Actually, it's going one step further than acceptance, because I'm extending myself and whatever I have to help another. And it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It's more, it needs to be, it's a much more important donation or extension when I think well of the person or the situation, and I keep myself to the task of having good thoughts about the person or the situation, because the atmosphere is not an empty thing. It's filled with the vibrations of our thoughts and feelings. And if somebody or someone or a situation is filled with anger, what a great contribution if I come in filled with the vibration of peace. And that's what I'm sharing. So if you've no other larger picture to work with this larger picture. This is the purpose of my life, to be a giver and to help change the atmosphere of anger, fear, ego.
Yes, a beautiful purpose. Let us add now to our discussion, to our dialogue, once again these vibrations with the purpose of reaching out to all souls with the good news. You are that peaceful, loving, truthful being of light, and you can live a life without the old habits of anger and all the other habits. So let's finish with a few moments of a merciful attitude and a peaceful vision of the whole world. And thank you very much, Sharona.
Thank you. Good luck to everyone and congratulations.
Goodbye, and we'll see you again next week.